I'm going to give people a couple of minutes to trickle in. And I think I'm recording, and we are going to talk a little bit about square root. So be a little patient, okay? And again, I'm not going to go over the slides yet. We are kind of going over the background stuff. Awesome, guys. I think we're recording. I think all of you or most of you are back. Okay, again, and you're thinking, why is he repeating himself? Because I'm recording. If somebody misses it, we are still doing P3. And so, guys, we know that 2 to the power 2 is 4. And 3 to the power 2 is 3 times 3, which is 9. And that's fine, okay? This whole thing has another meaning. I can also say square root of 4 is what? You will say 2. Okay, and we have to be a little careful. And square root of 9, we are actually looking at the positive square root. We'll talk about negative and positive in a second. Square root of 9 is 3. This time, I'm not going to write the easy part, the part that we're familiar with. I'm going to ask you, and that's how I view it. What's the square root of 25? Well, it's a fancy way of asking, guys. It's a fancy way of asking what number multiplied by itself is 25. So let's try it. 1 times 1 is 1. No, that's not true. 2 times 2 is 4. That can be. 3 times 3 is 9. Well, not there yet. 4 times 4 is 16. Well, getting better. 5 times 5 is 25. So this is 5. And of course, you can write it. Oh, I know. 5 times 5 or 5 squared is 25. That's what we mean by square root. Now, some of you will tell me, well, your answer is right, but I know -5. Sorry, let me write it here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so some of you will tell me, yeah, you're right, but what about this? Remember, guys, negative times negative is positive. So -5 times -5 is also 25. So that's why we generally say square root of 25 is plus minus 5. Okay, so -5 squared is 25 and +5 squared is 25. That's why the square root of 25 is plus minus 5. That's what we mean by square root. Okay, and let's type it here nicely so that we kind of know we're talking about square roots. We're talking about square roots. Doesn't matter if you want to say square roots or square root, doesn't really matter, but okay. If you don't have any questions, I'll get rid of this, what I have on the board, so-called board, and we're gonna still be talking about square roots, but let me go over a couple of things. So again, you really want to understand what it means, okay? Square root of 25 is positive -5 because -5 times -5 is positive 25, but +5 times +5 is also positive 25. So you wanna use both. Now, it's called, generally when we say we are just interested in the positive one, I think it's called the dominant. Let's see what word your book uses. It's called the principal square root, the principal. Okay, fine. I'm going to generally talk about both, but generally when we talk about the positive one, we say principal square root. All right, guys. So let me give you one more example. I'm going to ask you, if I ask you, who's going to tell me what, without using your calculator, of course, what's the square root of 100, guys? Anybody is interested in answering?
It's 10.
Good, good. Why? Can you?
Positive or negative 10.
Exactly. And can you explain why you think it's 10? What tells you that that's the right answer?
Because 10 times 10 is 100. And square rooting it is just taking it in half. So you're essentially just dividing that by 10.
That's correct. 10 times 10 is 100. So that has to be correct. And he has a negative there as well. And that's because negative 10 times negative 10 is not negative 100, but positive 100. So that has to be right. And he has both. Sorry, I'm going to erase that. All right, good. So one more thing. We can write square root of 100 as I wrote it here. Totally acceptable. However, we have another, I think that's why you're using the word half. So I can also write it like this. Remember all the things we learned about powers will come back and work for us. Okay, you can write it 10 to the half, sorry, 100 to the half. The square root of 100 to the square root of 100 or 100 to the half is same as this, which is same as positive negative 10. Okay, we write it in two different ways. We write it, let's write it nicely. I don't know why it's saying that's of course wrong. Square 10 to the power 100 is not 50, but that's why I probably shouldn't use it. It should be 10. Somehow this formatting is a little off, but you get the point. I'm not going to worry about it. That's going to show me anyway, but you get the point. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to erase this. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to erase this. So what do you think this means? Let's use a new page. Save us a couple of seconds. So we're claiming this is same as this. Is same as this. All right, so what about something like this? When we write something like this, I'm going to put a little 3 here, guys, okay? And this means this. What could that possibly be? Okay, this is called the cube root, okay? Cube root. And cube root is kind of like square root, kind of. It simply means what number written 3 times and multiplied will give you 27. If this is 3, the answer has to be 3, because if you write 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Now, the good news here is there's no plus minus. Okay, because -3 times -3 times -3 is not positive 27, but negative 27. So you don't have to worry about putting a plus minus. Cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, let's try one more. I'm going to erase this here a little bit. We're still talking about cube root. And what is the cube root of 8? In other words, I'm asking you to tell me what number multiplied by itself, written 3 times and multiplied by itself will give you 8. What do you think? What times what is X is 8, guys? Who's going to tell me?
Two.
A little louder.
2.
Thank you. And you are right. It is 2, not positive -2, because negative doesn't work that way, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. That's correct. Good. So guys, whenever you have an odd number here, odd, this answer will only be positive. Okay. Whenever you have an even number like 2, I don't know how, we'll probably see 4 up to 4. So good. I think we're doing good. We're making some progress. Let me go to a new page, see if you can do this one for me. Who's going to tell me? Think about it a little bit, okay? I know some of you could, of course, use your calculator, but without your calculator, what could this possibly mean? Anyone? Take a couple of minutes. It's called the fourth root. The fourth root. But
Are we telling you what it is? Or like,
could you repeat it once again for me?
do you want us to tell you what it is?
Sure.
Like what the answer is, or like, I'm kind of confused.
Ideally, both. Tell me the answer and tell me why you're claiming that's the right answer. So let's go for it. And tell me your name if you don't mind.
Jenna,
Jenna, go ahead. Tell me what your answer is.
isn't it 3?
Mhm. And can you tell me why you think it's 3?
Because I memorized my powers chart last semester.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here's another explanation. This is thank you, Jenna. This is another way of asking what number written 4 times. Okay. And 3 is correct. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I'm going to show you. This is 9. And this is 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. So 3 is correct. What would you say if somebody says, well, I got this, who's right? If somebody says in our class, hey, I got this, I think that's true. What do you guys think? Would that person be correct as well?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
they would.
Exactly.
Because it's an even spread. So
Thank
therefore,
Thank you, John. So you are saying,
Jack.
Jack, I don't know why I'm calling you John. Terrible. Anyway,
Is it popping up John every time I speak?
I say that again. No,
Is
you
it
know,
pop-
guys, I see your name as Jack. When I talk, I can't see you guys, and I can't see your names. I don't know what. No, it says Jack. Okay.
Okay.
My apologies.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
it's certainly not deliberate. Okay, so guys, back to this. Okay, so fourth root of 81, you don't have to be really fancy. You don't have to say fourth root, but that's how we write it. This is also say, let me give you one more. Let me give you one more. Well, it seems like I'm gonna start a new page, and I'm gonna show you. Let me see. I have to use my calculator to come up with a nice answer. Okay. All right, it's a big one. Okay, once again, I can also write it as follows. And you want to be able to make that translation in your head. You're going to see both versions. So who's going to pause a little bit, and who's going to tell me, ideally without using a calculator, or you can use a calculator. I used it. So play with your calculator, but tell me what the answer is. And don't tell me because the calculator said so, but tell me, hey, that's why. Anybody wants to tell us?
It's positive or negative 4.
Good, very good, and thank you. Positive or negative 4. Because, can you explain why? How do you know that's the right answer?
Because it's an even exponents, therefore it could be
Correct.
positive. Are you asking how I got 4?
Right, right.
4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 16 is 256.
Very good. Thank you, Jack. Okay, 4 times. This is what he's saying. I'm going to write it down. Okay. Again, do you have to show it all the time? Not really. If you can do it in your head, be my guest. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 16 happens to be 256. And the same thing will work if I use negative number as well. If this was negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, this answer won't change. So the answer is positive or negative 4. Good, guys, good. I'm going to stop here. By stop, I mean we still have 5 minutes. I'm not going to do anything new. What's our plan tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll do some of the well, we'll have to go over a little more lecture, but this is kind of the background knowledge they kind of expected us to have. If you want to leave, be my guest. I'll be here for another 4 or 5 minutes to see if you have any questions for me. Thank you for coming. Those of you are going to leave, and rest of you want to hang around to ask questions.
Oh,
Totally fine. Go ahead, Jack.
so are we done right now?
We are done for today. Correct. It's almost
Okay.
11 o'clock. We're done for today.
All right. You have a good day, sir.
You too, Jack.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. All right.